Hi, you're in a theater watching your show. Pretty cool, huh?
How did this happen?
A long time ago, two cave dudes killed a mighty animal and ran back to tell their tribe. They really liked telling their story, but their family got bored fast. So they made it interesting by adding theatrical elements. Anyway, that probably never happened, so let's get to the real deal. A few thousand years later in Greece, they worship a lot of gods, but one of them likes to party. They have this big party, and they named the party after him too, because why not? Man, you could make a religion out of it. They did. Anyway, one day, a brave member of the dithyrambic chorus stepped out and had a solo, and boom! That's theater, baby! Now, Thespis was the first actor, and now all future actors are called thespians because nepotism, I guess. Also, he traveled the country with his wagon full of acting masks. After Thespis, there was a few other big names in Greek drama like Aeschylus, Sophocles, Euripides, and of course, a few names of Greek comedy like Aristophanes and Meander. There was even theater analysis thanks to Aristotle and his book Poetics. Now, how do we know all this stuff? Rocks. After that, the next major shift came when Rome came to town and took over the entire Mediterranean. They were inspired, stole Greek gods and theater, and Romanized them. Roman theater was mainly emotional tragedies with, off-screen, gore, or comedies, but no politics, only make fun of the people we hate. Lots of new playwrights like Livius Andronicus, Plautus, Terence, Seneca, and also a new dramatic theorist too, Horace. Fast forward a little bit and, uh-oh. The Roman Empire is cut in two. Uh-oh. The leaders are now Christian, and there's a lot of mocking farces about the church. And now theater is over. It's banned. It's gone. For nearly 500 years, theater is non-existent in a public setting. Until the church comes in and is the savior. Kinda. A trope is a musical addition to the regular mass. It's better at nothing at this point. And now, Hrothvia of Gandersheim, the first female playwright ever, wrote some monastic drama. And of course, only for the church, baby! More time passes, blah, 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 crusades, blah, 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 Black Death, blah, 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 more church plays. And always remember the 3 M's of medieval plays: mystery, miracle, morality. Don't worry, it's not only European theater. Here comes Africa. Let me just check my notes here and, there's no written history of any plays being done in Africa because they didn't really have a written language in ancient times. But there is still theater. We know that, but we don't exactly know what yet. We need more research. But what we do have, we have dances in Rwanda, Pende masks, and Bamana puppets. Let's also, while we're in the neighborhood, jump to India. Kathakali dance theater of northern India, along with the Sanskrit dramas of the noble classes. While we're in Asia, also let's stop by Japan. 3 major types of theater: No, Bunraku, and Kabuki. Anyway, we gotta jump back to Europe because it's time for the Renaissance! Italy starts us off with a bang since it already has everything there. The ruins, the church, the trade, the money. Also, new challenger approaches. Commedia Etruda, learned comedy. 5 acts, all unities. Machiavelli, if you remember that guy. And the most Italian name ever, Giambasta Giraldi Cintio. All this leads to people realizing that the classics, Greek and Roman plays, are pretty awesome. And nothing should ever change ever. Boom! Neoclassicism is born. Alongside this, there's also Commedia dell'arte, and it also popularizes stock characters. Oh yeah, by the way, France is finally joining in all this theater madness by banning all religious plays in 1548. Alexander Hardy claimed to have written 600 plays. Well, that's cool. He was not well liked because he wasn't hip with the neoclassicism trend. Cardinal Hugh Richelieu started his big theater and employed many famous playwrights like Pierre Corneille. Then there was Molière, who lost his family over his love of theater, but won back his daughter by maybe sleeping with her. Whoops! Way to stay regal, man. Good thing the Sun King, Louis XIV, was a big fan and gave him lots and lots of money and a theater and a safe place for all of his plays. Can't forget about Spain. While unifying the Iberian Peninsula, the Spanish Golden Age lasted 100 years and 30,000 plays were written. The main play types were Comedia del Santos, Autos Sacramentales, and Comedia. Many of the famous playwrights of this time were monks or priests, and they liked to create some pretty crazy, raunchy plays, like Lope de Vega, Tirso de Moneda, and Pedro Caldron de la Barca. Now we must travel across the channel back to England for tutoring Tudors. The Tudors were Henry VII, Henry VIII, and Elizabeth I. And yes, that Henry VIII, wife killer, wife haver of many. Theater didn't really go too crazy until Elizabeth I because she was so supportive, and we renamed the whole theater to the Elizabethan era because she was so dang cool. Lots of drama types, and big major players included Thomas Kidd, Christopher Marlowe, John Lyly, and the one, the only, William Willie Shakespeare. Good old Willie earns his infamy by single-handedly creating 1,700 new words and integrating universal ideas into his work instead of just what was happening at the time, some trends, wars, whatever. He was also a shareholder in the Lord Chamberlain's Men, an acting group sponsored by Lord Chamberlain, of course. After that, we haven't gotten to that yet. I guess I'll figure that out later. Bye!